The Yorkshire Coastcast with Paddy. Loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places.
Hello and welcome to episode 55.
This is the Coast.
Coming up, we chat to the family who run Eastfield Garden Centre and have done since 1976. It's celebrating its 50th anniversary next month. And to celebrate, they've got 50 amazing offers for 50 years. You'll definitely be interested in finding out more about that. Also, Big Ideas by the Sea is back in a couple of months' time. In the second half of May, we'll be speaking to the guys behind this very special festival in Scarborough, and also about a very, very exciting new map, which, if you're interested in the history of Scarborough, you'll be really interested in. That plus some of the big local news stories affecting life here on the Yorkshire coast, all to come on the podcast that you can get on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and always at thisisthecoast.co.uk/podcasts, and ask your smart speaker to play the latest episode of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast. So, Eastfield Garden Centre are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year and would love to share the big day on the 15th of April with you, customers old and new, to say a big thank you for your support over the years. There's going to be events, offers and quite a bit of fun to mark half a century of Eastfield Garden Centre serving Bridlington and the surrounding East Yorkshire area. It's now in its third generation of the same family, and I've been along to chat to them.
Joan Stevenson, one of the directors at Eastfield Garden Centre.
And Brian Stevenson, director at Eastfield Garden Centre.
Special time for Eastfield Garden Centre at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we're really thrilled that we're actually celebrating 50 years. It started off with Brian's mum and dad, and now our son has gone into the business, so we're really chuffed that we've actually managed to get to 50 years, and it's going strong.
50 years, eh? That's incredible. So, what are your memories of it in its early days?
In the early days, my father wanted to leave me to farm, so he had two friends. One was a nursery supplier, so he supplied hardwares to garden centres, and he was friendly with Ken and Ray at Daleside Nurseries at Harrogate. And they persuaded him over the years to try and to do this, and after 3 applications for planning, he eventually got started. And it was a long, drawn-out process with these friends to get started with it all.
I guess it's changed a lot in these 50 years, hasn't it?
Rather a lot. We did start more 25 years ago, probably putting more effort into it and developing it like it is now. And then with Michael and the children coming on board, we've pushed more and we've done a lot more for the business.
You know, it's not just on the map of people in Bridlington, is it? The whole area knows about Eastfield Garden Centre, but I know people that travel all over. You know, we come down from Scarborough as well, because it's one of those places that is quite special, actually. And you've got a lot going on, haven't you, for this milestone year?
We have got a few things going on. I mean, what we're going to do is, after the 15th, the weekend after, we're having an animal farm, which is always very popular. But we're also doing tastings within the Garden Centre in the food hall, so local companies are coming, like Bracken Hill, who are from York. They're coming on the 4th. Marvellous company for doing chutneys, really nice jams. Then we've got various offers that we're doing throughout this time as well. So there are various things happening, but we're not just doing it on the 15th, that is our celebration day. We're doing it throughout the year as well.
You may as well make the most of it.
Well, yeah. Might as well.
So, I mean, starting with that animal experience, that animal farm, what's all that about then?
Well, we normally have them in the winter time, but we've thought that it's so popular that we literally have problems with people car parking, although we have got 250 car park places. So they will be bringing various animals. They don't specify, because unfortunately animals are a bit unpredictable. So they just come and everybody enjoys petting them and feeding them.
And, I mean, there's loads to see here, isn't there? So for people coming in, they might have a perception of a garden centre, but, I mean, there's different places to have a drink and have some food. It's always developing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd like to try and cater for most people. We have the cafe, which is for coffees and teas and snacks, and then we have the restaurant for the full meals. And I'd like to think, we cater for most people who want to come in. Children, as well, that's probably the animal farm. That brings, for the children who come in, that is enlightening for them to come and see the animals.
And spring is a great time of year anyway, isn't it? People do start thinking thinking about their gardens. So the whole place must just lift up a notch when it comes to March especially.
Yes, I mean, at the moment, they're just discussing how many primroses to have. There's planning for the next year for actually what plants we're going to have, what shrubs we're going to have. But not only that, then you've got all your various pots, you've got your equipment for doing, for your spades and all that sort of thing as well. We also do a huge range of gifts for the family, so there was all that to buy for. Also, the cook shop, that is mega big as well as the food hall, which we take into consideration Easter as well. So we do an awful lot of going out and buying in various places.
And you must find people do come from all over. I mentioned, how people in this area, but people will come from all over, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, it's quite humbling because we just had all the furniture come in, about 4 containers of furniture just come in. And it's amazing who buys that, because I know Mike Stills are delivered to Scunthorpe so people are coming from all over the places. And I suppose there's caravanners, one thing, they come from away to the caravans on the coast. So you get a wide spectrum of people from a wide area.
And you mentioned how the celebrations go on throughout the year. I mean, Christmas is always a massive time, isn't it, here? People get very excited about when the Christmas display opens up. But just in terms of other stuff going on this year, really, between now and then?
Well, basically, it's just sort of things as they happen and special offers that are going. Little things that might, crop up. I mean, like, for instance, we're having a cake specially to celebrate our 50 years, which was my mother-in-law's tropical pineapple cake. So we're icing that, for the celebrations. We're also doing a 1970s style menu for the 15th of April. There's all sorts of things, but it's just sort of,
Do you know what's on that menu? Do you know the kind of stuff that'll be on that?
I think they're doing sort of, prawn cocktail, chicken in a basket, black forest gatter, all your 70s type things.
You don't remember that, Paddy?
No, I was born in 81. So that's my excuse, yeah. But it sounds great. It sounds really good. And I mean, 50 years is quite a milestone, isn't it? So you'll be making a fuss of it in terms of visually as well, so that people when they come in, they'll know it's your 50th anniversary. Yeah,
one of the first things that was actually sold in the garden centre was a gnome. So we've actually got some about metre-high gnomes that are gold, that will be on as a presentation as you walk into the garden centre.
Will they be for sale at the end of the celebrations?
There's actually one that's actually going to be for a raffle.
Right, fantastic. That sounds great. Yeah. Did you find as well after the pandemic? I mean, people really started looking internally, didn't they, to making their homes a lot better. So, are you still finding that people are, since then, are still focused on their homes and keeping them, making them look as good as they can, their gardens, basically? A lot of people got into it, didn't they, during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think they are. They're getting around to it. It's taken a lot of years from the pandemic to get things normal again, because prices have been up and down so much with transport containers, and everything's varied so much, and things I think have only just come back to normal this last year or so. And getting the choice of new products and that, I think that's only just coming through now to give us more different things to sell. It's only just getting more interesting again now.
And I suppose you do have to keep up with the trends, don't you? So you talk about what you're going to be getting in terms of your plants and all that sort of stuff, your gifts and everything. Every year, I guess it's a little bit different. What is going to be the trend? You have to do a little bit of Mystic Meg type stuff, don't you?
Yeah, it's finding new products. I know the girls have been the founders to do shoes, another company to selling shoes. But it's bringing interest there for the customer to see something different when they're coming in, to make a variation for them buying.
You mentioned how it was started by the family 50 years ago, and that is a key thing, isn't it?
It is actually, because there's a lot of garden centres around us that are no longer family owned, and they are in big groups now. So that we have got that little bit of difference, because we are a family firm and we actually can buy what we want. We aren't dictated to. So we have a lot of different things in here, in the garden centre. The
staff here as well, you'll no doubt sing lots of praise on the staff, but that's all part of the experience when you come in, isn't it? Staff that are knowledgeable with the products that you sell, but also a friendly face, whether that's the plants or the gifts or the food and the drink and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, we've got 50 staff throughout the garden centre. One for each year that you've been around, yeah. I'd never thought about that. So, we are lucky that we've got some good staff that have been with us a lot of years. And we've got various staff in various sections so that they know what they're selling
So, yeah, that's, something that we do encourage.
Yeah. I touched on Christmas before. I know it's a long way off and all that, but it is worth mentioning to people just what a place this is when it comes to Christmas. We've had the advert, haven't we, where people have been coming for generations, which is true when you've hit the 50-year mark, but it's a big thing, isn't it? And I don't know whose job it is to lay out the display. Always do a great job, but that must be quite fun. Just sort of decide it. Well, okay, stressful.
Yeah, it is actually. I've been doing it for a lot of years, but now Laura's taken over that job. So we still go buying together. We've actually bought the Christmas last December, most of it, and then carrying on into January. So it's going home for Christmas is the actual theme. And it's actually where you are. So you could be in the Caribbean, but you could be at home, or you could be in the 50s, whatever. It's different sort of takes on where you are at Christmas this year.
And am I right in thinking that it arrived even earlier this year? Because I always think sort of start of October is when those Christmas displays tend to get going. But am I right in thinking it might have even arrived a little earlier?
Yeah, really sorry about that. But
no. I love Christmas, so it's
you get people. It's a love-hate situation, and they go, "Why can't you have it?" Especially if I dare say it, older men, and they'll go, "Why can't you have it a week before Christmas? It's far too soon now." But we have to take into consideration that the staff are putting this stock out, and it does take a while to change the stock round. And so we do start in August, and we start putting it out. But would you believe it? People still buy in August.
Yeah. A lot of people buy stuff in January as well when it's in the sale, you know what I mean, and all that. So that is a big thing, isn't it? A really, really big thing. 50 years is a fantastic milestone, so congratulations. And here's to another 50 more.
We hope so.
Well, we hope so, yeah.
We won't be here, but...
Yeah, we've already got our 9-year-old grandson saying, well, when I leave school, Daddy, I'm going to work at the garden centre. So we'll have to see if that happens. But yeah, we've got the next generation accounted for as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. And a big thanks to Joan and Brian Stevenson from Eastfield Garden Centre. Now, if you click features at thisisthecoast.co.uk, then you can find out all about their 50-year celebrations. And I mentioned earlier, there's 50 offers for 50 years. With it being the 50th anniversary, there's a lot that is 50% off. So there's offers in the garden, furniture and outdoor living section, garden tools and accessories, plants, bulbs and seeds, planters and propagation, wildlife and garden decor, solar lighting, watering and fertilisers, ponds and aquatics, gloves and accessories, and home and gifts as well. 50 offers for 50 years, and you can get all the info by clicking features at thisisthecoast.co.uk, and you can also find out about their prize draw. You can win a share of hundreds of pounds worth of prizes, including £100 Eastfield Garden Centre gift cards and £50 gift hampers, or even a giant gnome as well. So lots of info on there by clicking features at thisisthecoast.co.uk, and you can also find out more about that Spring Farm event as well, happening Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th of April.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places. This is the coast.
And thank you for tuning in to episode 55 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast with me, Paddy, brought to you by the team at This Is The Coast, the local commercial radio station for the Yorkshire coast, on DAB digital radio across much of the region, online at thisisthecoast.co.uk, on the This Is The Coast app, on smart speakers. Yep, ask your Alexa to launch This Is The Coast, and also on Roku TV as well. Next, Big Ideas by the Sea. It's a festival which is back second half of May, and the guys, I love them. They're so passionate about bringing the heritage of this area, Scarborough in particular, to life and making it accessible as well. I recently caught up with them at the Yorkshire Hospitality Expo at Scarborough Spa.
I'm John Oxley. My name's Kane Cunningham. We're telling people about Big Ideas. 15th to 30th of May this year. Kicks off on a Friday night with a premiere performance from the Blow-Ins and Tim Tubbs. not to be missed. But what we're also doing is we're working with the Historic Towns Trust. Historic Towns Trust produce these incredible historic maps of places, telling you where all the old buildings were, which are the important buildings, gives you a highly detailed map and gazetteer. And we're raising funds for that. We're in full-on arm-twisting mode this year,
I've heard about this map, and I think it's an amazing idea because there's so much in this town, isn't there, that is really quite special. You're just unfolding a map of Hull, is that right? So is this the Hull version?
This is the Hull version, yeah.
Right.
And you can see it shows all of it's based on a late 19th century Ordnance Survey map, and what they've done on there is they've put a lot of the features that have disappeared. Like the city wall, or the town walls around Hull, and some of the those major historic buildings, and you can see it's just incredibly dense, which might put a few people off, but actually, it's like a fantastic Booker map, isn't it? You can sit down and explore it, and you just get lost in it.
I love an old-fashioned map, and that looks fantastic. Very, very exciting. So, how hopeful are you that this map is going to happen?
Well, if we raise the money, we'll make it happen. We've got about 3 months or 6 month time scale, haven't we, John, for this?
Yeah,
hopefully. And I think we'll get that money. There's a lot of interest today from people, and we're doing the Bob Geldof thing. Give us your money, we'll make it happen. And it always works. But we're doing it for a good cause, like the Big Ideas by the Sea Festival. We're a community festival, and we're celebrating our history, and the map is all about that.
And what I love about you guys is you're so proud of this town as well, and I have that pride too, and there's a lot of people like us actually that are proud of this place, isn't there?
It's an incredible place, and I think the more work that we do, the more work you do, there's some amazing people around here today, and they're all about saying Scarborough is this amazing place. It's got amazing heritage, it's got amazing places to eat, it's got amazing places to stay. Look, loads of things to do. We've got the sea, we've got the walls, we've got the moors. We've got this incredible heritage, and that's, and we've got all these incredible events happening.
And that was Big Ideas by the Sea, which is a festival happening in Scarborough from the middle of May until the end of May.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire.
Right, next, a new pilot project that could force businesses in Scarborough to let out their vacant properties has been approved as part of a plan to improve economic performance. A carrot and stick pilot project in the town has been approved by North Yorkshire Council's Executive Committee and could see it use compulsory purchase orders to address the blight of empty and increasingly derelict properties on high streets. The scheme will see the introduction of new powers that allow local authorities to require landlords to rent out persistently vacant commercial properties to new tenants such as local businesses or community groups. Following its approval at a meeting on Tuesday the 17th of March, preparatory work will start immediately and the high street rental auction process could start as early as May. Here's Councillor Mark Crane, Executive Member for Open to Business.
We decided Scarborough because it seemed the obvious place with the number of vacancies it's got. It's a pilot to look at a particular area and to work with the people that own property in that area, retail property, of course that is, to try and bring it back into use. The criteria would be that the property had been empty 366 days out of the last 2 years, so, just over a year in that period of time. We would look to work with the owners of the property to get it rented, so that we had people in, and that obviously would drive footfall further in the particular area.
Meanwhile, and this is a contentious subject, a trial ban on motorhomes and camper vans parking overnight at tourist hotspots on the coast is set to be made permanent. North Yorkshire Council introduced the restrictions in November 2024 following an unprecedented level of complaints about the numbers of motor caravans parked up, along with concerns over safety. Since then, the ban has applied between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. on North Bay in Scarborough and the A174 to the south of Sandsend Village. The trial in Caton Bay was abandoned after signs were repeatedly vandalised. Earlier this month, members of the Scarborough and Whitby Area Committee spoke of their support for plans to make the ban permanent, as it has resulted in the displacement of motorhomes from affected areas. In addition, elected members would like to see the council explore the possibility of providing dedicated facilities for motorhomes. More than 3,000 responses have been received during the 18-month trial, with 2/3 being motorhome owners. While the majority object to the restrictions, most did not relate to the reasons it was introduced. Now, rather unsurprisingly, we've had a mass of comments on our social media pages about this story. Let's read some of these now, then we'll get a real feel for the opinion on this. John Dade says there's not one solution that fits all. At Caton Bay, there are good campsites like Brown's, 0.3 miles from where cars and vans typically park. However, North Bay is different as sites are further away. Dedicated metered parking bays with electric hookups could potentially be successful and bring income to the council. And he says, as he stated before, this is popular on the continent. However, North Yorkshire Council has said to me previously they would never consider this. Leslie Gratian says, if you can afford a camper van, then you can afford to pay for a pitch at a caravan park. Terry Malloy says, why not just put up signs on the A64 and A165? No camper vans. I always thought Scarborough was a historic holiday destination and welcomed holidaymakers with open arms. How wrong I was. Meanwhile, every year, travellers set up camp on either Seymour Road or Filey Road Park and Ride. Do we find them for overnight camping? No. We just cancelled the Park and Ride bus. And do we welcome tourists in cars? No, we just increase parking charges. And if you need a toilet after your car journey, it's hard luck and cross your legs. So well done, North Yorkshire Council. It's going to be a quiet summer in Scarborough and a busy one in Bridlington. Sandra Copley-Brown says it needs some wily farmers to open up their fields to campers in the summer months. It would provide a better return than leaving sheep in them. Keezer says it's all academic now anyway. The vans won't come regardless of the verdict. They've got the message. Scarborough doesn't want them or their money. That's why all summer, even during the day, they were few and far between compared to how many there used to be. They're off spending in places where they're welcome. And North Yorkshire Council have put a huge nail in Scarborough's coffin. What a time to be alive to see tourist destinations reliant on the tourist dollar turning it away. And combine that now with a devolved council reluctant to invest in any seaside destination, but quite happy to take the locals' council tax and business rates and spend it elsewhere. Then you are left with massive localised problems. Just take a look round Scarborough. Look how run down it's becoming and how quickly it's happening. Same in Whitby. Baxter Gate shops empty, run down, zero investment, and now no tourist shekels either. Sad times, especially as its fortunes could be turned round with the correct administration and implementation of motorhome. As paid overnight parking that becomes self-funding, zero logic being applied in my opinion. Dan Schofield said, I used to stay overnight there so I could surf early morning, but stopped a few years ago when it became so busy. The problem I see is that there are a lot of people in motorhomes coming in winter and spending money, but the campsites are all closed. So where can they go? In Europe, there's an air in every town. Some have several. We're brain dead in this country and our councils have no business sense whatsoever. Andrew Hopper says at least there's plenty of other streets to park. And Jane says absolutely in favour of the ban across the whole of the UK seaside resorts and towns. These vans have become a nightmare across coastal towns, parking as they like in residential seaside locations, bringing misery to residents and the streets around. They should park on specialist sites that accommodate hookups and disposal availability. There's lots more comments, and of course you're welcome to add yours on the This Is The Coast social media pages. The plans are going to be discussed at a meeting on Friday between Councillor Taylor and the Council's Corporate Director of Environment, Carl Battersby. And a Yorkshire Children's Charity has expanded its support for vulnerable families by launching a new specially adapted holiday home in Primrose Valley, aimed at reducing travel barriers for those in need of a coastal break. The Principal Trust Children's Charity has announced the opening of its third fully accessible respite holiday home situated at the Haven Holiday Park at Primrose Valley. The launch marks a significant milestone in the charity's ongoing mission to support vulnerable families across the region. According to the organisation, the property has been specifically designed and adapted to cater to adults and children with physical disabilities and complex medical conditions, providing a much-needed safe retreat here on the Yorkshire coast. There's always more news stories on our website, thisisthecoast.co.uk, and on the This Is The Coast app, which you can download for free from the App Store.
The Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce. We'll bring the ears, you bring the bounce.
So we are underway with the Wilf Ward Bunny Bounce. So the Wilf Ward Family Trust do an amazing job actually helping people with learning disabilities and autism live extraordinary lives. And we've got nursery-age children and primary school-age children taking part in our Bunny Bounce events at the moment as we get ready for Easter. So, on Friday of last week, I was invited to Glen Gardens in Filey, where the scene had been transformed into a wonderful Easter setting. Welcome to the Glen Gardens in Filey! And it's lovely. The scene has been turned into a proper sort of Easter scene. It's wonderful. Introduce yourself and where you're from.
Hello, I'm Vicky and I'm from Coastal Childcare. I'm one half of it. Sarah Stayman's the other.
Hello, Sarah. You all right?
Hi.
Okay. What have you done here? Glen Gardens have been transformed.
Yeah, we've set it up into an Easter wonderland with lots of eggs, bubbles, music, and the kids have bunny ears. And we're here hopping to raise lots of money.
I've also been to Jitterbugs Childcare in Scarborough. I've been all around the building, seeing all the different groups. You're the last guys that I've seen. You've done some brilliant dancing. Who wants to tell me what you've been doing? What's your name?
Thea.
What have you been doing just now?
Bouncing.
Yeah. And who wants to tell me what they're wearing on their heads? What are you wearing on your head?
Bunny ears.
Yes, that's right, bunny ears. You've got blue bunny ears. What colour are your bunny ears?
Pink.
Oh, wonderful. And we're back out again this week as well. And there is still time to get involved. You can click thisisthecoast.co.uk and then features and sign up your primary school or nursery. But be quick, because it isn't long until the kids break up for the Easter holidays. Well, that is just about it for episode 55 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to leave a review, especially a positive one, that would be superb. It really helps get the podcast out there. And we'll be back on episode 56. And a reminder, the Eastfield Garden Centre is celebrating its 50th anniversary in April, and they are celebrating that with 50 incredible offers for 50 years. We've got the details at thisisthecoast.co.uk in the features section.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. The people, the places.
And don't forget to tune into This Is The Coast on DAB, online, on smart speakers, the app, and Roku TV as well.
The Yorkshire Coastcast.
Loving